Friday the 13th, part 4, everybody. What exactly is Friday the 13th, part 4, the final chapter, all about him? Well, it's actually about, seems like almost like every other one here, it's a group of friends that want to get away for a weekend, alone in the woods. Plus, there's also a family that's already there, so there'll be some extra characters to throw out there too. So hey guys, John Franklin Reviewer here. I've been saying this pretty much every video right now, that just so people know, if you're watching these videos, I hope you have seen these movies unless you really don't care about spoilers. What exactly did I like about this? First, I'm going to talk about the characters here. I'm going to start off with a character named Tommy Jarvis, played by Corey Feldman, who right off the bat I'm going to tell you, I've always liked this guy, always liked him as a kid actor. I mean, really what he is he's really just this really smart kid who really loves video games, and we'll talk about this later, but something I really want to call why I call him such a smart kid, because I mean, he knows how to design mask and all that, his own little personal thing. I thought that was kind of cool. And of course, he's him, and he has a sister and a mother, and these are the three family members who already live in a cabin in the woods where these other group of people will be coming up pretty soon here. I really like his sister Trish. Now, really the only thing I can really say about her, as much as, I mean, I'm kind of neutral with her, is I really want to talk about her acting. Her acting is really, in my opinion, solid in Act 1 and in Act 3, when she has to kind of go against your monster, Jason Voorhees here. Act 2, it kind of goes up and down, and what I really mean is, like, with that acting and all that, it goes back and forth where it's like, she says her line really good, really strong, really performance on like a strong woman type there, and then there were other times it just felt like below average for her. Maybe this is more of a gripe, that's why I'm still putting it in the pauses, but I think that she's a really good character. I like her. I feel like that her and Tommy really do kind of bounce off of each other as actors and all that, and I really like that kind of thing. Now, I want to talk about Jason Voorhees here. I believe it was he was played by Ted White in this one. Now, in the previous video, part 3, I talked about Richard Brooker and how much of a badass he really was and how much he really brought Jason into it. Ted White really brings, when he's on screen, he really demands what he wants to do, who he wants to kill, what he wants to do kind of thing. I mean, he focuses on Trish so much, it's almost like the whole, you screwed up on something, like you tried to kill her once, you didn't do it, you got to keep going back. And without making it sound like I don't want to make it sound like it's a cartoon thing, but it reminds me of Wile E. Coyote in The Road Runner, where it seems like you think that one point, Coyote's going to get the Road Runner, and he does not, and he always keeps screwing up. With Jason, it feels like he's always trying his best to go after Trish, after everybody else is done, because yes, she is the final girl here, and I really like that, where he's really focus. It's not like, oh, I can't get her, I'm gonna run away with my tail between my legs there, and that's all I'm gonna do. No, I really like how much he's motivated, like he should be, to go after this character, and I really like that. I think I kind of talked a little too much more than I thought about that, but his deaths, oh my fucking god, we'll get to that here in a moment. You can tell, badass right off the bat. Really like that for what that was. Now let's get to the deaths here. I mean, there were so many, I didn't even write them all down, I just wrote down what I could. So one of the deaths I really like, one of the first deaths, if I'm correct, is that Jason's in the morgue, he eventually escapes, he kills a doctor with a saw, cutting off his neck there, or his throat, and then he turns his neck 180 degrees, and I thought, wow, that's fucking badass. So then another death I really want to talk about here is, I want to talk about, I believe it was a corkscrew through the hand, and this was actually, this character who gets killed was played by Crispin Glover, which we'll get to him later on. And then after the corkscrew through the hand and it's stuck there, he gets a cleaver or butcher knife or something through the face. And I gotta be honest, that is definitely probably one of my favorite death scenes in that one there. Another one that we actually get is we get a woman trying to run out of the cabin, and the door's locked and all that. All of a sudden, this just like goes so quickly, and she's laying there, and she's like something sticking to her. So Jason threw an axe through the door into her chest, and I thought that was fucking badass again right there too. Let's see, another one was that we even had like one where there was a woman, she was looking out the window, Jason was outside, in the rain, someone just comes through the window, grabs her and throws her onto her car and all that. Another good one there, I gotta be honest with. Then we actually have, we get a guy who wants to go see his girlfriend. He ended up making a mistake doing something. He tries to go back and maybe try to, get forgiveness. Well, it turns out she's already dead. She's outside in a boat. He swims to a pier, and Jason and it looks like, to me, it almost looks like it's like a small harpoon gun. But when I was looking it up on Wikipedia or something, it actually said it was just a spear through the guy's dick, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's an ouch right there, I gotta be honest, And I guess one more, I can't really call it really a death, but a slow down, which is Jason. So the thing is, we get to Act 3, and Tommy Jarvis actually, where I say he becomes a smart kid, he ends up finding a piece of paper in this hitchhiker's pocket. Now the hitchhiker's already dead, and the thing is, he sees that it's Jason Voorhees, he's the killer that's out there, and Tommy Jarvis decides to start shaving his head to look like Jason as a kid. So it kind of confuses Jason a little bit, because he kind of walks up to him, but he was actually able to trick Jason, and Tommy Jarvis was able to get the machete away from Jason and put it on the side of his face there. Jason goes down on his knees, sliding down this machete here, and it's like, and this one eyeball still moving around, and that was creepy as hell. So those were some of the really good points I really, really liked about this movie, some of the good things, entertainment things about it. Now we have to get to the negatives. Well, okay, I mentioned Crispin Glover. Let's get him going. I loved his death. He was probably my favorite death, I gotta be honest, maybe even right behind Jason sliding down there too. But the thing with him is, he's just one of these lonely, horny men. Now, I gotta be honest, I hated him. He was very annoying in this. He's not the only one. Another character that just pissed me off, his character was Ted. He was supposed to be the friend to Crispin Glover's character there, and all he really kept saying was that, to Crispin Glover, you're a dead fuck. No one's ever gonna wanna, have sex with you, and this, and this. And eventually Crispin Glover does, and it's like, I didn't like his loneliness, I didn't like his cockiness when he finally does get some here. It was just very, very annoying, and I really was not a fan of that. Now, I did forget to mention one more thing in the positives here, and that is actually special makeup effects Tom Savini. He was actually the makeup effects guy in the first Friday the 13th, and I feel bad that I didn't mention it, but I wanted to make sure I mentioned it here. Okay, so now that I'm jumping, went from my negatives back to my positives, now right to the rating here. As much as there was a lot of good things about this movie, but there was so much stuff about the story being boring, just really didn't care for most of these characters. I mean, I was just like happy when they died kind of thing. The whole talking about sex and all that, some of these characters that get jealous, okay, some other ones I just thought about for negatives and all that too, that just ticked me off, and it was just like, I really didn't care. It was directed well, but I feel like that the script could have been a lot stronger, or these characters could have done a better, maybe again, good actors in a bad script and do what they can, still maybe make that script look good. Wasn't thrilled with that. So my rating for this one, and I think a lot of people are going to be ticked off that I wasn't a fan of this one here, but I am going to go 1.5 out of 4 stars. So, have you seen Friday the 13th Part 4? What was your opinion about it? Because I know a lot of people really enjoy this one. For me, it was so-so, could have been a lot better, I feel like. And there's my points of what I liked and what I really didn't like about it. Even though it seemed like I had a lot of positives with the death and all that, and that is always a big part of it, it was just the characters were not that interesting enough to really care about just when they died, and that was it there, So give me a comment down below. Are you happy with what I said? Do you disagree with me? What did you like and dislike about this movie? I would definitely be curious. So thank you guys so much for watching another movie review here. Continuing my Friday the 13th series here. And as always, stay awesome.